Yeah, I've been seeing the whole Creel situation all over my timeline, and normally I don't really cover Ninjago controversies unless it's a controversial writing decision or something, like Harumi working with Pythor and Crystallized, even though he's the one that released the Great Devourer, which is what she harbors so much hatred at Lloyd over. You know, things like that. I think the only time I've really covered it on my channel was my video about how the pilots are not on any official streaming service. That's basically the extent to which I covered Ninjago controversy on my channel. But recently, this new thing has come up where LEGO's been releasing a Dragon's Rising podcast called Crossroads, Crosstalk, something like that, hosted by Creel, not just the voice actress, but the in-universe character, right? It all takes place in-universe, and Creel just said in the most recent episode of the podcast that she and Fugidove broke up, and that she's interested in Roby. And Roby's already taken by Wildfire. It seems like just an attempt to try and set up another goofy love triangle of some sort. But I guess the public perception is that Roby is a minor and that Creel's an adult, so people are accusing Creel of being a Diddy Blood, an EDP type, a lover of cheese pizza, you know, CP, a pedophile, if you will. Or some are even saying that, oh, if Creel's into Roby, then she must be the child and Fugidove must be the predator. But really, like, none of these characters were given canon ages. LEGO decided not to give any of the Ninjago characters ages because I guess they wanted kids to be able to, like, paste themselves onto the characters, which is really stupid because kids idolize Spider-Man and Batman and people much older than them all the time. I don't know why. It seems to have just caused more problems. Because if you've been around in the Ninjago community for quite a bit, this happens all the time. You see this especially on Ninjago Twitter. Every week you scroll on and see something stupid. Oh, Lloyd is 20 and Harumi is 14 in Season 8. That means Lloyd is a pedophile. Like, where did you get these numbers? From out your ass? Like, what? Were these the lucky numbers on your fortune cookie? Like, who told you this? None of this is canon. It's just actual fan fiction. Or another really egregious one that I saw is, well, actually, Zane is 40 years old by the time of the pilots, and Pixel is 3 years old, yet they're in love. Seems pretty sus. Like, they're AI. They're AI. Following that train of logic, you'd have to consider every single person talking to an AI chatbot a Diddy Blood, because the chatbot is not as old as them. The chatbot was created only minutes before they started talking to it, so it may as well be a newborn. Following that train of logic, what the heck is up with the Ferris wheel? I'm just trying to get in. But it really sucks because there are moments where that concern is totally valid, right? Like Nauticon creeping on Nia in Skybound. That was really weird because he's much older than her by several orders of magnitude, and she probably is, realistically, a minor at that time. Or when Ronin was about to kiss Nia as seen on the Sword of Sanctuary in Season 5. There's valid concern there. But this whole Creel thing just seems like another big misunderstanding of how old everybody is. But instead of taking the rational approach and being like, oh, I thought the character was this old, but then they went and did this with this character, seems like my guesstimation was sort of wrong. Instead, they have to act like, well, no, actually, this person's a pedophile now. It's so dumb. Like, what's wrong with all of those characters that I mentioned? Roby, Wildfire, Creel. What's wrong with all of them being 15? You know, that makes sense, right? Actually, I guess if Fugidove was dating Creel, and Fugidove was seen in Season 11 with, like, the long legs, not the stubby legs that indicate that a character's a kid, but the adult legs, and then the merge happens 5 years later. I'm sure that there's ways you could rationalize all of this, all of their ages, and make all of the relationships completely ethical. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna go pinpoint this right now. I'm going to say that characters with the stubby, like, kid legs are under 13. This is gonna be a bold claim, but Kai, Cole, and Jay are 17 during the pilots. We know that Nia is 2 years younger than Kai. I think Kai was 5 and Nia was 3 when their parents were kidnapped by the Time Twins, so that's how it would be. Zane is 40 years old. If you're a real fan and you've read Splinter in the Blind Man's Eye, or even better, listen to the dramatized narration of it that I did on my channel, you would know that it says Lloyd was not 10 summers old in a flashback where he's going to release the Hypnobrai. So that puts Lloyd in Season 1 at about 9 years old. And this is another bold claim, but I'm going to say that Harumi at this time period is 12. Now, I know that sounds like fish paste, horseradish, if you will, all these moist critical terms, but hear me out, just wait. Now, with Season 2, we know from an interview with Jillian Michaels, Lloyd's previous voice actress, that the Tomorrow's Tea turned him into being 14 years old. And I know people say that his mind and body went out of sync but then magically caught up in Season 8 where he had a new voice and that really established him as the age he's supposed to be. But that doesn't really make sense. At the end of Child's Play, you see Lloyd being all like, oh, I don't really read comics anymore, I'm too old for that now. And the whole point of that little scene was supposed to say that he's grown with this potion, not just physically, but mentally. So, now, Season 3 had to have a massive time jump, whereas these could have been days or weeks apart, maybe months between pilots and Season 1. Season 3, I'm going to put at 2 years. Because, I mean, Ninjago City went from being this to this. Like, come on. That would put Kai, Cole, and Jay at 19. Nia at 17, Lloyd at 16, and Harumi at 14, Zane at 42. Now this is another bold claim, but I'm going to say that seasons 4 through 7 happened in 1 year. Now just wait till the whole age timeline is complete with this, but I mean it's not really that far-fetched, right? Season 6 happened and unhappened. So I mean Tournament of Elements, Possession, and Hands of Time all happening within 1 year, that sounds pretty plausible. And we know that there is a 1 year gap between seasons 7 and 8, so there's that. That would put Lloyd at 18, Harumi at 16, which is a fairly ethical age gap. Nia is 19, Kai, Cole, and Jay are 21. And I know that Kai says in Hunted, we're still teenagers. I guess I gotta move that down a line because that's in season 9. But realistically, a lot of people 18 to 24 still consider themselves young, you know? And Zane is 44 by this point. I don't know if him being rebuilt in season 4 really counts toward his age or whatever, but yeah. Now, Fuji Dove is first seen in season 11, and I'm going to say that he is 13. He is right at the age where he can still have the normal legs as he does, but he's such a childish, like, non-villain that he seems like he would be 13. He, like, coos like a bird. He makes up some fanfic about fighting Jay. He doesn't really pose any sort of threat. He's not in the criminal databases. He's a kid. He's probably a kid. But then Zane lives in the Never Realm for 60 years, so that puts his age there at 104. This is also assuming, by the way, that the Oni trilogy takes place within, like, days to weeks of each other, the 3 seasons, which is probably the case. Seasons 11 through 14, I'm just going to say happened in 1 year. Another bold claim, but again, it'll all make sense by the time it's done. We know that Crystallized has a 1 year time gap between Seabound and It. So these 2 time skips total out to 2 years. So by Crystallized, the end of the show, Lloyd is 20, Harumi is 18, Nia is 21, Kai, Cole, and Jay are 23, Fuji Dove is 15, Aaron and Sora are 10, not 190. Wildfire, I always forget how to spell that. Let's say she's 11, let's say Roby is 12, and let's say Creel is 13 by this point. Now, the merge happens! Woo! So spooky. And we know that Dragon's Rising takes place 5 years after the merge. So that leaves us with Lloyd being 25, Nia being 26, Jay, Cole, and Kai being 28, Fuji Dove being 20, Creel being 18, Roby being 17, which again, 17 and 18 is ethical, Wildfire is 16, Aaron and Sora are 15, and Zane is 111. So there, all of this works out. The stubby kid Lego legs that are like 1 fixed piece. Those characters being under 13 makes a lot of sense. I know Lloyd being 9 and Harumi being 12 when they were kids in Season 1 sounds a little bit weird, but if you think about it, I mean, Harumi being 12 makes a lot more sense for her to develop all of that teen angst right away and idolizing evil Garmadon and stuff like that. That just makes a lot of sense. And I know people don't like to hear that the ninja are in their late 20s and stuff, but like, that's me. And look at me now. This was back in like 2011. It's 2025. I'm 22 years, I just turned 22 a couple of weeks ago. The characters are reaching Unk status, and so are we. I think I said that in a video before.